Christine Pitawanich with your weekly recap, where we catch you up on some of the biggest stories of the week. We begin with a scary situation in Portland's Old Town on Wednesday when 33-year-old Hosea Chambers is accused of hijacking a TriMet bus and forcing the driver to drive around the area. We got our hands on dispatch audio that details the TriMet driver's actions that some are crediting for getting everyone off the bus safely. Here's our John Adams with the story.
Hello? Northwest Gilson, and there's a guy with a gun. I need police now.
Chilling audio between TriMet drivers and dispatchers details the tense moments that happened in Old Town Wednesday afternoon.
408, secure the bus. Have everybody get down, please.
He's telling me he's coming off the bus. He's standing right beside me. Everybody's getting off my bus out the back door.
You can hear the driver trying to calm the man down while passengers escaped.
You're okay, man. Okay. Wait. You're okay, buddy. Yeah. You're okay, I promise. Can you put that down for me?
Portland police say the suspect, Hosea Chambers, told the operator to drive the bus around Old Town.
He's telling me I can't stop. And oh, Jesus. This is. Oh, hey, buddy.
The driver was eventually able to get off the bus safely. Chambers was arrested after an hours-long standoff with Portland police and was in court on Thursday afternoon. The president of the union representing TriMet drivers says dangerous incidents like this have become far too common.
There's a lot of fear. I mean, we have a lot of mentally ill folks out on the streets. A lot are self-diagnosing, self-prescribing their own medications, and it's making our job much difficult.
Hansen commended the driver for his bravery, which allowed everyone to escape without getting hurt.
John Adams reporting there. We looked up Hosea Chambers' criminal history. He's been arrested over 10 times dating back to 2010. If you're interested in listening to more of that dispatch audio, it's up right now on KGW.com and the KGW YouTube channel. To Oregon City now, where fire and smoke could be seen for miles on Thursday after the old Blue Heron paper mill caught fire and burned down. Firefighters said they'd continue to mop up over the weekend. The Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde owns the site and has plans to develop it. It's been vacant since 2011, but demolition crews have slowly been dismantling it over the last couple of years.
It's truly a saddening time for us because, as I think most Oregonians know, that this is a sacred site to us. Its cultural significance and historic significance is of paramount importance to us.
Clackamas Fire says no one was hurt. Several buildings were damaged or destroyed, but the tribe didn't have an exact number. Portland's largest cannabis shop is planning to shut down for good after the owner says the business has lost over $1 million from break-ins. The Portland Cannabis Market's owner says armed burglars have hit it 6 to 7 times over the last 7 years. The latest break-in happened Monday morning. The owner says that's the only time Portland police have arrested a suspect. The shop's CEO thinks the lack of arrests have something to do with the time it took officers to show up.
On average, it's been at least 50 minutes for them to show up to our facility, and as far as I know, the local precinct is 6 blocks away. I've been on the phone with the police department while it's happening, while I'm driving here, and they still don't get here.
In a statement, Portland police acknowledged its staffing crisis, saying in part, "We're trying our best with the resources we have, and our detectives work these cases exhaustively, knowing that solving one may mean solving others." The Beaverton School District and Beaverton Education Association reached an agreement preventing a possible strike. The school district announced the tentative agreement for a 3-year contract on Wednesday. This new deal provides an almost 15% cost of living adjustment over a 3-year period from this school year to the 2026-27 school year, as well as an increase in the school district's health insurance contribution. Union members and the school board must vote to approve the agreement before it's finalized. And to another strike avoided, the city of Portland reached a tentative agreement with a union representing nearly 1,100 city employees. The union says the deal came after almost 18 hours at the bargaining table. The Portland City Council and union still have to vote to ratify the agreement. Another union, which represents some 200 City of Portland workers, still plans to strike this coming week. Now to an update on a KGW investigation into retailers carding people regardless of their age. A pair of lawsuits challenged the practice, claiming universal ID checks were against the law and an invasion of privacy. Now the Oregon legislature is weighing in. A House bill in Salem would allow retailers selling alcohol or tobacco to legally swipe your driver's license, even if you're 70, 80, or 90 years old. Investigative reporter Kyle Leboshi has that story.
If you've gone to buy beer or wine recently, you may have encountered a clerk asking to scan your driver's license. A growing number of retailers have implemented universal ID checks for alcohol or tobacco products.
And so no one has to do math, and so you just scan it. It's 100% accurate.
Jonathan Polonsky, CEO of Plaid Pantry, says the policy of carding everyone eliminates any guesswork and keeps the company in compliance with state and local requirements.
All we're trying to do is do the right thing and make sure that kids don't get tobacco or alcohol.
But as we reported in September, not everyone agrees with the policy.
I understand their reasoning because they're trying to protect themselves from selling to underage, and I get that and I understand that. And sure, it's a lot easier just to say scan everybody, but you can't do that when there's privacy laws in place to keep you from having to scan.
Specifically, Scott Dale was referring to the Oregon law which prohibits the swiping of a driver's license except under certain circumstances, including the sale of age-restricted products if there is any reasonable doubt that the person is 21. And that, Dale and his attorney argue, makes this policy of scanning everyone's ID unlawful.
The law does not allow a business to swipe every driver's license on every transaction.
Plaid Pantry and WSCO Petroleum, which owns Astro gas stations, are both being sued over their universal card swiping policies, which prompted House Bill 2055. Its sponsor, Representative Emily McIntyre of Klamath Falls, explained this bill addresses the recent concerns raised by class action lawsuits. It would change the law, allowing retailers to swipe a driver's license to verify a person's age, regardless of how old the person looks.
Kyle Leboshi reporting there. We also have an update on a local story that actually wound up getting some national attention. A man named Jeff Keith, the founder of a Bend-based nonprofit called Guardian Group, is now taking credit for putting those googly eyes on some public art. He says he's pulled similar pranks before, and they're a bit of a distraction from the emotional toll of his work, which is fighting human trafficking. Bend city officials says it cost $1,500 to remove all those eyeballs from 8 sculptures. Keith says he offered to pay, but has not heard back yet. After a historic response to the wildfires in California, some of Oregon's bravest have returned home. Our Daisy Caballero was there for the warm welcome.
On Wednesday afternoon, with balloons, thank you signs, and dozens of cards in hand, students at the Holy Cross Catholic School in North Portland met with firefighters who went down to help fight the wildfires in Los Angeles.
In this case, we were able to send 105 fire engines and 370 firefighters.
Oregon State Fire Marshal Mariana Ruiz Temple says this was the biggest response Oregon has ever participated in outside the state, and the students wanted to show their appreciation by passing out handmade thank you cards to Portland, Gresham, and Port of Portland fire agencies, including 5th grader Josie.
Well, I think that they did a lot of work in California and just here, and that we should say thank you because they're really hard workers.
It was tragic. It was fulfilling. We got a lot of good work done.
Christine Pizzulo was on the fire lines and says as difficult as it was to see, this kind gesture from students hit the heartstrings for her and others.
It was very, very heartwarming. Tears to the eyes.
So to be in a place like this and see the children thank those that left their families and their communities, it just means a lot.
And while this was a small act of kindness from students, It meant everything to those who experienced it firsthand, and it's something they'll cherish forever.
Keeps us motivated so that we know the why. Why do we work hard? Why do we train hard? Why do we give everything we have?
All right, Team Holy Cross, what did we say to these real-life superheroes?
What a sweet story. Again, our Daisy Caballero reporting there. And by the way, those firefighters did not show up empty-handed. They actually brought a number of gifts for the students, including stickers and pencils. Now let's get a quick look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Rod Hill on a Friday morning. This KGW8 Plus weather update, putting the stream down for you coming up on 7:06 this morning. Well, weather's back, right? It's just rain today in the valley and at the coast. No watches, no warnings, no advisories, just rain for the first time in more than 18 days. We had 18 consecutive days through midnight last night of no more than a trace of moisture in Portland, which is now the record for the longest consecutive daily dry streak out at PDX, breaking that record of 17 days back in 1948. Now, I'm starting off with the watch warning map. So realize the purple, this is a winter storm warning for the Coast Range. Now, this is not for today. It's for overnight tonight and Saturday. This is all rain for travel over the Coast Range today, but starting tomorrow, overnight tonight and tomorrow, you would want to be prepared for the potential of snowy roads. For the Cascades, the game is already on. Winter storm warning today, tonight, and tomorrow. We do have snow cover on the ground at pass level up in the mountains at this early hour. And so generally speaking, as we always remind you, realize you're driving into a winter storm condition. Make sure you have changed traction tires and be prepared. Heaviest snow today will be above 4,000 feet, and ultimately it could be kind of a wet mix, especially at 4,000 feet on Highway 26. Again, that storm warning in effect currently through the day tomorrow. All right, so let's talk about mountain numbers. Cascades today, pass level wet mix at times to snow. Snow level around 4,000 feet to higher until it rapidly falls later this evening. Weekend snow, though, you don't see this every day. Weekend snow below 1,000 feet. Obviously, you folks in Sandy are at 1,000 feet. You folks in Welch's, Rhododendron are at 1,500 feet. You should expect some snow. Totals, lower elevations could be 8 inches accumulate. And then you get up above 4,000 feet and you've got 20 inches coming down. The real wet period is the moisture today and tonight, not nearly as wet once we get through the early morning hours of Saturday. How about the Coast Range? It's rain today, but it's weekend snow showers. Anything from, and it's showery weather patterns are tough for forecasters to pin down for a number of varieties. And one of the things that's tough to pin down is, are you going to get a little bit of moisture, you're going to get a whole bunch, and how scattered is it going to be in terms of coverage. But at least flurries over the Coast Range this weekend, absolutely. And there's a reasonable chance that at some point there could be 3 to 6 inches accumulate over the roadways. Now, the best chance to get significant snow would be the higher in elevation you go, and the highest highways are Highway 6 into Tillamook, or out of Tillamook into Portland, and then Highway 26 on the north coast. So FYI on all of that. Here is the lowering snow level projection. A sharp fall from around 4,000 feet to higher overnight all the way down to 500 feet tomorrow. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means if you live at 500 feet, there's a reasonable chance that your temperatures will be somewhere close to freezing even in the day tomorrow, and that most of your precipitation, if not all of it, would be in the form of snow with the potential of some sticking. Then that figures 300 feet Sunday, and you've got 200 feet and lower at times on Monday, and then by Tuesday, Wednesday, the whole batch of air is cold enough that no matter when the cloud pops, whatever moisture would come out of it would be ice crystals, would be snow. So anything that falls Tuesday, Wednesday, snow. But again, this is all showery precipitation, and the wettest day out of the bunch looks to be tomorrow, Saturday. Not as much scattered moisture Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So if you live in the Metro Hills, just for this weekend, I think there's a good chance at some point you'll see some flurries. Will you get some accumulation? That's just a toss of the coin. The weather models are really downplaying the precipitation amounts. So if you got hit with several little clusters of intensified showers, which could happen, then you could get anything from flurries all the way up to 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of snow. And again, the higher you live up in elevation, the better the chance of getting, 2, 3, 4 inches. So just FYI on that. Wish I could pin it down for you more, but I can't. I do believe this wholeheartedly. In the flats of the valley over the weekend, Portland to see mostly rain showers. Now realize overnight temps are going to be near freezing, daytime highs around 40, so obviously the chance of seeing snow showers in the air is better at night and early morning, and more of a rain shower event at low elevations down into early morning. Here is a look at the radar and satellite picture early this morning. We've got widespread moisture this morning. Again, it's all rain except for the snow over the Cascades. Here's a look at Futurecast. And you've got 10 o'clock this morning. The bright colors means that we have heavy down pockets. Here we are at 4:30. The front comes in this evening. That's why you see this cutoff. So that's the end. Here we are in the 7 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock hour. This is the end of the heavy stuff. And now you've got scattered shower weather into tomorrow. Here's tomorrow morning at 8:30. Even in the morning in green, this shows rain showers in the flats of the I-5 corridor and at the coast, but snow showers in the mountains, Coast Range and Cascades. And then later in the day, 6:30, same thing. It's showing the rain down low, scattered snow showers in the afternoon. Now, if this is correct, and you're looking at this at home and you're saying, this doesn't look like very much moisture. It doesn't look like enough to cause any problems, period. And if this is correct, you're probably right. But there's the possibility this is downplaying. Maybe there's 20 individual showers here instead of just a few, and then all of a sudden we could have some impactful weather. Here we are coming into Sunday morning, rain at the coast, snow in the Coast Range, that's the blue. Sunday morning temperatures in the valley near freezing, so it's showing some flurries in the air. And then we get going through the day and we warm up to about 40 degrees. Here's 2 o'clock. Now it's mostly rain to maybe a wintry mix in the air with temperatures above freezing in the flats of the valley. And then that pattern goes into, here's Monday morning. Now whatever's inland Monday morning, temperatures are around freezing. Anything would be snow showers, but then warming up during the day. So I hope my story makes sense to you. Without doubt, today's the only day that's super wet in terms of moisture, whether it be rain or snow. Snow in the Cascades, rain everywhere else. 82 100s could fall in Tillamook, about 1/2 inch on average expected to fall in the flats of the I-5 corridor. And then we've got Maysville precip out east as well. It's mild out there. We're in the 40s starting off. This shows 55 in Salem today. Rainy day, heavy at times. Rain totals 1/2 inch or better. Southwest winds breezy 10 to 25 miles per hour. Similar numbers hitting 50 in Southwest Washington. Our forecast numbers for you on the map this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Look at the 50s at the coast, the valley. Madras hits 50 with rain showers, and then 30s and 40s with it being, in the city locations, the valleys, just rain showers. 7-day forecast. We've got it lit up with our KGW Weather Impact Alert red colors. Today it's just a rainy day, but it's been so long that it's the first day you've got to start planning your day around the rain if you have outdoor activities and driving and that sort of thing. And then tomorrow we're illuminating Saturday into Wednesday, just for what I talked about. There could be a shower, especially overnight, early morning, where you get a little cluster of increased moisture coming through that does all of a sudden in scattered areas put down some snow, making travel more difficult, at least for a brief period of time. So that's what we're watching. There's no embedded snowstorm in here at this time, and temperatures at night around freezing and daytime highs around 40. Well, there you go. That's your update. Hope you have a good Friday and a good weekend. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. This is KGW 8+ weather forecast.
And that is your weekly recap. Again, I'm Christine Pitawanich. Thank you so much for watching. You can catch up on the latest headlines, by the way, anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or our YouTube channel.